Well, hello and welcome back to snoozles Strategycast with episode number 50. Well, long time no see, but today I am going to present you number 50 of my Strategycasts, and it is spDarkHorse, a member of the infamous Strat Pack against MRG, the Protoss player, here up on the north on this map, of which I forget the name. So it's a Bronze League match, and I did something new here, what I didn't do before, which is watching the replay before casting. And as I always want to point out flaws in the game of the persons I'm casting and their opponents, of course. I want to help them to get better, so I will tell throughout the game what I like and what I don't like. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil it already, but DarkHorse is scouting here a little earlier than MRG, but both is fine. We noticed that DarkHorse is ahead in supply, at least by one. It was two right before, and he's right next, starting his next SCV, so that's totally fine. Also, building the gas right when the barracks is constructed is fairly good and standard. The MRG, on the other hand, is playing a forge before gateway, which I'm not a fan of building it up here. If he wants to do that, he needs to build it down here together with these destructible rocks. He can have a great wall off here with some cannons and can expand rather safely. So we have MRG now scouting the DarkHorse's position, and well, he doesn't see too much. The first Marine is out and he scares away. No, he doesn't scare it away, he just kills it, but no. Yeah, now he kills it. So that's always a good thing, to kill scouting probes. And now this is important. DarkHorse sees the forge first and then the gateway. And that is normally a very true sign, a very sure sign for an early expand with not so much pressure. On the other hand, he sees now the second gateway, so, and this is the problem with bronze, because you cannot say what will come out of that. But we now see the cannon, so I'm rather right with saying that he's not going to be aggressive in the beginning. So one thing that DarkHorse could do would be to expand. Here it's very nice how MRG notices it first, and here DarkHorse shoots on his own building. Well, with those two Marines, now that he knows that there's forge out, he doesn't need to be too scared of an early push, so he could easily take these two Xel'Naga towers, because he then has full map vision of what's going on. And that is something which I will probably say more today for this cast, is map vision. Map vision is very, very important, and DarkHorse has nearly none. I mean, let's see, he has scouted everything, but he doesn't take any look further from except for knowing where his opponent is. On the other hand, MRG places this probe here by the Xel'Naga tower and will know ahead when DarkHorse is moving out. Then he can plant two more towers, warp in whatever he likes, so that he can be better prepared for the push. But there's no push yet, but it actually looks like DarkHorse wants to push soon, but he saw the forge, and pushing with, well, it's a Marauder heavy force, so actually pushing with a lot of Marauders actually makes sense. Stim is done, concussive shells is done. He could maybe, he doesn't have enough gas for the shield upgrade. And with the extra minerals, he could also build an engineering bay already. Oh, he does. Great, I like that. So it's going to be very focused on infantry, but he should probably also get some tech, or actually now is just the time to expand, because he had the 400 minerals right before. So getting there, and we let's go back here, because what we see is that he sees the units, and he already plants a force field down here to prevent them from getting any vision. And SpDarkHorse just stands there and let the cannons shoot him, and he stims. And stim is the worst thing he could do right there, because he loses all his energy. Another stim, and again with no effect. Now he needs to retreat these units and get a medivac as fast as possible to heal these units, otherwise they're just dead. So let's take a look at the income. No income here already. 23 harvesters for SpDarkHorse, 25 for MRG, so he's behind. He didn't produce these SCVs all the time. And again, now is the time that he should expand. He saw that his opponent is very, very, very passive. He saw that he doesn't have an expansion. He can't get out because he has the no, he can get out actually. So maybe we will see a push right here. SpDarkHorse is sending a marine now to the Salnaga towers. That is good. So he will actually see the units quite soon, the enemy units, and we will see when he notices it, because that is a good thing to check how the minimap is watched. And we saw that he notices it very, very late, and here again too late. So he saw the void race, I think, but that's about it. And it looks as MRG is just as if he just cleared those towers, and that's about it. So as there's, I don't know for sure if those missile turrets are a reaction to the void ray, but again, if you are sitting here so passive with all those units, you definitely need to expand. And here is the expansion. Okay. Actually, I don't mind flying over first, because then you can already mine, and these are too many SCVs for one base, so it would be more efficient to fly them over already and then do a drone transfer. And with this expansion already going down, he is ahead economically before the Protoss, and also he got ahead in harvesters. We now have a double robotics and a double Stargate together with 4 gates all on one base. Well, we know what that means for upgrades. There are none. And of course, those gates could produce another wave. But, well, he has a lot of minerals, so actually he should warp in for zealots. They are great against the stalkers, of course, the marauders, which he saw. And what I like about MRG's observer usage is that he just lets his observers patrol here. He will see when his opponent moves out, and this observer is even more beautiful because it will, as we will see, it will patrol this area of the map, at least at some point in the game, and so he will most probably spot any drops that will be coming. Meanwhile, MRG takes an expansion and he doesn't take his natural. He rather wants to take this one, which I totally do not understand why he does that, but, well, he does. So, and let's look at Camp Darkhorse. Darkhorse still didn't get the shield tag, although he has like 18 Marines, and there the shield tag is definitely worth the money. Also, he doesn't have any upgrades yet, so he didn't do anything with his engineering bay. It's because he doesn't have enough gas, and this is because this refinery went up rather late. Now he does the right thing and creates 2 refineries so he can get more gas. He of course needs to immediately transfer workers to this gas, and now he gets vehicle weapons upgrade. He already has siege tech, so these siege tanks will give him some good defense. And now we will have a clash of the armies, probably. And let's look at the army size. And the army size is higher for the Terran by 10 supply, is that right? No, only by yeah, about 10 supply. Let's just say it like that. And well, on the other hand, Darkhorse has many wounded units, so Stim will be deadly for him. And I don't know why he doesn't get a starport for Medivacs. Instead, he gets a double armory, which he doesn't use. So, but now he uses the infantry weapons level 1, which is great. A scan. He sees there is no expansion here. That means he has to scout somewhere else. Because I mean, if it's one base, then he has already one, so he doesn't need to worry. So he needs to see where the other bases are at, and he does here with a scan. He sees this base, and he should probably exploit that. But the main army is sitting right here, which is a great spot for this main army. On the other hand, MRG has good map vision with his observers and this Phoenix to see that Darkhorse did not take a third. Now the Phoenix goes in and he will just have a look of what is in there. He saw the Thor, so he probably will not go too much more into air. On the other hand, he saw the tank and will be happy that he has an immortal. Let's look at the production. Well, and again, MRG doesn't produce anything out of the double stargates. He doesn't produce much out of the warp gates. And I really don't know how, because he has the money to warp in like 4 sentries or whatever. It will definitely help to get units. He also isn't supply blocked, so he could just get units. Could also get a third, which would be great to have a third here, because he can easily defend that along with those others. But he gets this third, and this is, out of all the moves I saw in MRG's play here, this is the most risky. But it's also rewarding because, well, because Darkhorse doesn't scout. If he scouts this expansion, he can easily pick it off here and be back in time to defend his base if a push comes. And I mean, MRG would need, if Darkhorse army is here, right? If he's here, and MRG needs to commit, then if he wants to go in here, he needs to commit to this attack, because Darkhorse will come then from behind and trap MRG in Darkhorse's base. So now we have a lot of upgrades for the Protoss: air weapons, charge, extended thermal lance, and ground weapons. Number 1. Let's see what he has already. Well, nothing, and also no blink. On the other hand, we see Darkhorse with 1-0 Marauders. I'm not sure if he saw the Colossus at any time, but probably with a scan. So he gets some Vikings, which is good, and he continues to upgrade his Thors and tanks to 2-2. And if he does that, if he goes so heavily into the those units, he could also get some Hellions, maybe, but it's not too good because his enemy is not so zealot heavy. But to get even more Thors, of course, and some more tanks. And now we will finally maybe see a push. Also, Dark Horse should expand already. We will have a look at the harvesters, and MRG is ahead in harvesters. No one is producing harvesters, so which is very bad at that stage in the game, because you always should get to 70 or 80 harvesters. You will need the money, and actually we see that Dark Horse is actually using his money quite good. He has lots of barracks, so he uses the money he has. He also now got the shield. I like that, because it really improves those marines. MRG is scouting like crazy for the third of Dark Horse, but it's not there. And actually MRG can now just sit back, hang out here at the tower, take a fourth, what he already did, and just produce SCVs or probes until he has 70. He at least produces some probes, but he should produce more, definitely. And he will be ahead of Dark Horse, but Dark Horse is nearing the 200 supply. He has 162 already. He has a starport, but hasn't gotten a single medivac. No, there needs to be one. There, he has 2 medivacs. He could have more, I think, and maybe get some drops, but he is more into building Vikings because he did see the Colossi. And this is actually a push that should work. He has 1-1 Marines and Marauders. He has 2-1 Thors, and he has 0-0 Vikings. He now splits them, which is dangerous, but I don't know what he does here. If he goes over here, he should check these expansions, because he doesn't know of that expansion. And there's another upgrade complete. Let's see what it is. It's a 2-2 for the Thors, and we also have the 2-1 for the Marines and Marauders. So he can go up here and kill this base, which is exactly what he is doing. Maybe it's not so wise to have the Vikings here in the front. They should, I mean, you can even not take them in the control group and just let them hover over one of the Thors. Then they are also in range earlier against those Colossi and against those Void Rays. And I think it looks like he tries to focus fire the Colossi, and thereby losing everything. The Void Rays are just very good when they are charged. He immediately attacks against it, and Dark Horse has a Marine Viking force, which is probably questionable. And here, let me just go back, because I want to show you that MRG runs blindly into the third. I thought that he scouted it would be better, and the morphing to the planetary fortress should be cancelled right here, but it's not, so I don't know what happens to the money here. He needs to stand back with those Marines and just go with those Vikings. Now he can land them actually above this one lone stalker, but he also can just pick this Colossus, and now we have the tanks that are in the defense, but there are immortals there which are quite good against tanks, as we all know, but not so good against those marines. SC2 should land his Vikings right away so they can participate in the shooting. I don't know why he doesn't. He just lets them be killed, and now he lands some of those to scare the stalkers away. Let's this is the time for some comparison. SC2 MRG is now behind about, I might have switched those before. Well, MRG and SC2 are about the same in supply. MRG is ahead in harvesters, which he shouldn't, because SC2 destroyed a lot of them in here. And yeah, let's compare the units killed. Control R. Units killed. SC2 killed 61 units, 17 workers, and MRG killed 105 units because it's a lot of marines, and only 2 workers. So at this time, SC2 should be pretty much ahead in economy because he killed 17 workers. He is not, because he only has 2 bases, actually only 1, and his opponent has 3. So now SC2 is landing his main right here. He leaves the gas in here, which is probably fine, but he needs to transfer some workers. Don't know where all his workers are. Well, this is highly oversaturated. He needs to do an SCV transfer, and yeah, let's look at the production tab again. SC2 is not producing too much, although he has lots of money. He's not keeping his units together. He's going extremely heavy marine, which is fine if you build some medivacs and do some drops, but right now this is not going to work out. The army says both are roughly the same. Stalkers and Zealots are at 2-1. The Void Rays are at 1-1. The Marines are 2-1 and the Vikings are 0-0, and the Thors are 3-2 actually. And here we see that not keeping his units together is not so good. Stimming, which is of course great, but he needs to use these units as well. Then this fight looks definitely different, and then he would have saved much more units. Of course, he would have lost fewer units. So always keep your units together, get them to your control group very in a timely manner, and have them if your main army is positioned here, have your units rallied here. So now we see a push, and again the Vikings are far ahead, which is definitely not good. They need to snipe the Colossus now as fast as possible, which they do, which is great. And now they should be landed to participate in that battle. They should be landed right away. That's great. And scaring those stalkers away. And now he needs to kill this expansion. But stalkers are shooting from there, but he needs just to go here and kill that expansion, or actually I would retreat, which is exactly what he's doing. And he needs to get some more support, and of course another base. You're now only at 1 base, not mining from that anymore, although we have a good 1000 minerals left here, which could be mined at almost no costs. And well, yeah, expanding is a good word, because MRG is doing it. He gets a 4th base and he has 50 harvesters, which is, for Bronze League, that's a lot. Like, I mean, you should probably get more, like 70, but 50 is a good value for the Bronze League, I guess, and it's definitely better than 33. If you have a look at the income tab, MRG's income is skyrocketing against the one of DarkHorse, and DarkHorse didn't get too much pressure, so he should have gotten more expansions and also creating more harvesters. He has 2 orbitals now which are not producing those SCVs. He has also a lot of energy left which could be used for those Imba mules. And let us check again for the upgrades. We have 2-2 on the Marines, 3-3 on the Thors, and 1-1 on the Vikings. And if you invest so heavily on the upgrades of the Thors, then get some Thors and not just 3. I mean, like, get a lot more than 3. Rather get only 2-2 and get 2 more Thors for the price of those upgrades. And we will again have a look at the army, and we see that both are roughly similar in supply. MRG is a little ahead, but he also is like at 60 workers right now, so that's 27 supply in workers, whereas and DarkHorse doesn't have those. I will show you this fight in a second, but I want to point out before that means that DarkHorse is ahead in supply. We see a Templar, and this is why it's good that he attacks. We see Templar Archive now with the Psystorm upgrade, which is great for all those Marines, but the Marines, they die so extremely quickly against those Colossi, and it's just no use to get those Marines. And well, it's hard to say what he should do against that, but the Vikings is a good choice, but rather have Marauders, which are a lot more durable, or creep your way to the front with tanks. It's also very nice, because I think they have the same range roughly as the Colossi. And this time MRG knows that here is an expansion, so he attacks it because he knows his opponent doesn't have much. And right now the game's pretty much lost because DarkHorse has only the income from those 2 bases, which are just getting into place. He only has 21 harvesters against 68 for MRG. That's is very good from MRG, getting this 68 harvesters. I'm very proud of that guy. He should be getting out of bronze in no time, but he needs to be more aggressive, I think. And he also doesn't know that there are 2 bases here. The map control he had in the beginning of the game, he let this slip away, but now he can just march right in, but he still doesn't. He waits for his Templars, who have just enough to get 1 Psystorm up. He can also feed back those Medivacs, which would be great. Let's see if he does that. We don't see a storm yet. Yeah, there's a storm. Great. Two good storms. Another storm. And that should be GG. There's not a chance that DarkHorse will come back to that. DarkHorse, expand more and do some pressure. If you... DarkHorse saying lag. Well, if you're getting all those units in the beginning, you need to do pressure with that. Not stim if there is a force field blocking the ramp. Rather camp in front of the ramp and expand behind that. That is what you should do in that situation. And DarkHorse is asking if he's Silver League, and MRG says he thinks so, so he doesn't he doesn't know his league. That's funny. And there SC2 has left the game, so yeah, I already told you what I thought of it. The upgrades I liked, but it was really the wrong upgrades. I mean, you had all those Vikings. This upgrades, the attack upgrades for the Viking is a must to get down the Colossi even faster, and Marines against Colossus is not the smartest choice. Also try to incorporate some ghosts to get some EMPs on the Protoss. It instantly removes half of his energy, so that's totally OP. And yeah, that's about it. Keep sending me replays to snoozlecast@gmail.com. Next replay will be in German, so there will also be some more stuff for my German viewers. And see you next time.